In this video, we are going to talk about the top 10 places to visit in Maine. So before starting, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for future updates. Maine has more iconic pictures than any other state. Fully rigged windjammers, waves breaking against a rocky shore, fishing harbors crowded with colorful boats, lighthouses, and tall pine trees come to mind when you think of that northern New England state. Moose-infested backwoods have their own allure, conjuring visions of a lone boat just riffling the mirror-like surface of a forest-encircled lake or rainbow trout leaping from crystal waters. Maine's amazing quality is that it never disappoints tourists, who come with romantic thoughts in mind. From York to 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐤 Head, lighthouses dot the horizon, with dozens of tucked-away fishing coves and miles of rocky, wave-battered shore in between. Windjammers scurry between the fir-clad islands just offshore, while lobster boats scurry between them to haul traps. Maine's attractions aren't all infamous photos, and you'll be spoiled for choice on a Maine vacation with its museums, gorgeous gardens, artistic legacy, historic attractions, outdoor activities, and natural wonders. Use our list of the greatest places to visit in Maine as a reference to the best locations to go. Number 10. West 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐤 Head. West 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐤 Head is one of the most popular spots to visit on Maine's northeast coast, thanks to its spectacular red and white lighthouse and the thrill of standing at the country's easternmost point. The brick lighthouse was built in 1858 to guide ships over the 𝐥𝐤𝐤 Narrows, but there had been one here before 1808 when President Thomas Jefferson ordered it built. The current lighthouse stands 49 feet tall, with an 83-foot-high lamp. On Saturday afternoons in July and August, visit the 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐤 Head State Park Visitor Center in the former Keeper's Cottage to learn more about the lighthouse and its history, and enjoy a tour of the light tower itself. Number 9. Maine Maritime Museum. The Maine Maritime Museum, located on the site of a 19th-century shipyard, preserves and interprets Maine's sailing, shipbuilding, and lobstering heritage. The 20-acre complex contains a blacksmith shop, a hands-on lobster exhibit, and more than 140 Maine-built or Maine-related boats, in addition to the large collection of items and materials that make up exhibits on anything from clipper ships and lighthouses to marine art. An old birch bark canoe is among them. Number 8. Boothbay Harbor and the coastal Maine Botanical Gardens. It's hard to think this 270-acre garden debuted only a few years ago as you stroll around the trails. The abundance of flowers and the vastness of the well-kept and imaginatively designed gardens give the impression that they have been tended by generations of dedicated horticulturists. The trails wound their way through the numerous themed gardens, displaying native and exotic plants that flourish in woods, water, and other settings. A food garden and a garden for the five senses, both on raised beds for wheelchair access, highlight plants for their perfumes, flavors, and textures. The Big Children's Garden, as well as the woodland town of Ferry Houses, will enchant visitors of all ages. Number 7. Nubble Lighthouse, Cape Nettic Light. Nubble Light, on its own islet right off the craggy point of Cape Nettic, is maybe New England's most photographed lighthouse, and certainly one of the most accessible. The surf generally obliges photographers, with a few waves breaking into foam against the cliffs, especially on a rising tide. The lighthouse and keeper cabin are lit up for the holidays in late November, and the annual illumination is marked by music, hot chocolate, and a visit from Santa. From Ogunquit, you can take a cruise to see the lighthouse from the water. Long Sands, York's largest of two popular beaches, is bordered on one side by the point. Jefford's Tavern and the 1745 York Corner Schoolhouse, one of the oldest surviving in New England, are part of the Old York Historical Society Museum complex, which is located in another of the town's 4 villages. Number 6. Farnsworth Art Museum. No other museum in the country has such a comprehensive collection of works by Maine artists, and its Wyeth Center is one of only 2 in the country dedicated to the work of the 3 Wyeth generations: N.C., Andrew, and James. Some of America's most well-known late 19th and early 20th century landscape painters are represented in the museum's collections. There are paintings by George Bellows, Rockwell Kent, John Lafarge, George Inness, Childe Hassam, and naval artist Fitz Henry Lane on display, as well as the oldest known piece by Thomas Cole. Works by James Wyeth and N.C. Wyeth is on display in a separate structure on Union Street, which was once a church. Number 5. Old Orchard Beach. Old Orchard Beach is an unabashedly old-fashioned beach resort that revels in the somewhat garish honky-tonk ambience of its pier and thrill rides at New England's sole remaining full-scale beach amusement park. So kick off your shoes, stroll into some mid-century summer fun, and savor some memories. Palace Playland contains all of the traditional rides, including a Ferris wheel that floats above the waves, a roller coaster, an old-fashioned carousel, bumper cars, and a dozen or so other family-friendly attractions. Fries, soft ice cream, salt water taffy, and fried dough are sold at pier stands and streetside windows. The highlight of it all is a 7-mile stretch of golden sand beach that is open to the public for free. The sands are swept by volunteers every night, so you won't find a cleaner beach anywhere, and a barrier of grassy dunes separates much of the 7 miles of beach from the line of low hotels and stores. Number 4. Pommequid Point Light. The end of the long Pommequid Point in Midcoast, Maine is home to one of Maine's most iconic lighthouses, which was chosen as the picture for the Maine quarter currency. It was built in 1835, and has been maintained along with the light tower, keeper's cabin, and brick sound signal house. The strange formations of striped metamorphic rock in the ledges below add to the drama of the scene. The Fisherman's Museum, housed in the keeper's hut, preserves the region's rich fishing legacy by displaying captain's logs, models, dioramas, photos, and relics, as well as information on shipwrecks off this point. Picnicking is popular at the picturesque spot. Colonial Pommequid State Historic Site, at New Harbor, contains the foundations of a colonial hamlet as well as the reconstructed Fort William Henry. Number 3. Marginal Way and Ogunquit Beaches. The paved walking path that runs along the shore from Ogunquit's broad sandy beach to Perkins Cove is a lovely opportunity to see the rocky shoreline and its crashing waves. A succession of little sandy bays nestled among the granite cliffs provides a more intimate beach experience than Ogunquit Beach. From April to October, the trail is only for pedestrians, no bikes, no dogs, and extends for roughly 1.5 miles from the village's end to Perkins Cove's picturesque wharves. A little bay is protected by a thin peninsula, providing a safe sanctuary for small ships. Originally a modest fishing port, the harbor is now surrounded by restaurants and small businesses, but fishing boats can still be seen. Benches are conveniently located all along the trail, both on the path and on overlooks over the sea. Number 2. The Old Port and Portland Head Lighthouse. When visitors arrive in Portland, Maine's largest city, they almost always go straight to the Old Port, the city's port section. They may see a cruise ship or the tall masts of a sailing ship there, along with fishing boats, busy docks, and seafood restaurants because Portland is still an active port. The brick and stone buildings that line the narrow alleys that ascend from the dockside commercial street sustain one of the busiest ports on the East Coast from colonial times through the 19th century. Shop for marine items at a ship's chandlery, eat seafood on the quay, and watch the fishing boats unload, and local cooks determine the menus at the city's restaurants if you arrive early enough. Several of these can be seen on 4th Street, which runs parallel to Commercial. You can take a cruise around Casco Bay or a ferry to the islands from the docks. Portland Head Lighthouse, which marks the entrance to the harbor, is a landmark of Casco Bay and the Portsmouth Harbor. It is one of the most picturesque along the coast, with views of the city and Old Port, as well as passing ships and boats from its promontory. Number 1. Acadia National Park. Acadia National Park encompasses a wide inland landscape of lakes, streams, and woodlands, as well as a rough and scenic stretch of coastline. Locals and visitors who appreciate the outdoors can use it as a playground. The picturesque Park Loop Road runs through the park, passing through the main attractions, and is the best way to see the park by car. The Island Explorer buses connect the major sites, while bikers and walkers can take use of the network of dirt carriage roads, which are part of the more than 100 miles of hiking trails available to people of all abilities. Trails lead to the peak of 1,530-foot Cadillac Mountain, the park's highest point, where views of the coast and islands can be enjoyed. What do you think about our video? Let us know in the comment box below. Please like this video and subscribe to this channel for our future updates. Thank you.